Welcome to Shelbi Confessions, a mix of inspiration and understanding to help you cherish the day. Okay, so today I want to talk about authentication, and it's probably like important um, in reference to being yourself, because I feel like there's a lot of times we just try to mimic and copy everything. Like and everyone can be famous. Everyone could be like the head honcho or captivating. Like, I think beauty is kind of ran down into a simple category of acceptance. And if you noticed that I love to be me, like I'm a natural person. I don't wear makeup because of the simple fact I don't know how to put it on. I don't know how to apply. I mean, I could learn, but I never took the time out to learn how to do it. I just accepted my looks for what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, I will change my hair like often because I feel like my hair is my crown. But and my style changes. Like, I feel like I dress like a soccer mom probably. I don't know, but um, I've evolved. I've changed, and so looking back on my past, as in photos and like where my mental state was at the time, or like the mistakes I made, like I learned now that I've always tried to be authentically myself, whether it's uncomfortable or not. And there was this post of this lady. She was saying that to be authentic, you have to be ostracized, isolated, unpopular, um, no one quite understanding you and your abilities until it's like far beyond or too late. And I was like, dang, that's sad. But it's true. Like, you're not. Okay, so I started this podcast. I've been doing it for like 2, 3 years. But this is my first time actually doing videos, and it's like I I really don't know the audience frame, but I just put it out because this is my healing process, and I could help that one person that decides to listen. But it's isolating, or it's misunderstood, or I've tried to date someone and they listen to my podcast. I'm like, well, you're talking to this person. I'm like, look, first of all, I talk about my life, yes, but I reference from past relationships or past situations, and they impact me and change me. So I'm speaking my truth. And like, so don't take it as this happened today. It didn't happen today. It has nothing to do with today. I pre-recorded these like months of when they're happening, and I get an epiphany, and I feel like I need to share. So it's not like a present moment. This could be past situations and emotions, feelings, and that have nothing to do with you. And so it comes as like this criteria of like, I got to a point where I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't feel like what was I doing it for? And the more I felt like the person I was talking to was listening to it, the more they just didn't get me. But then I was like, I had to think, like, they are the privileged individual that gets a chance to talk directly to me, listen to me directly, feel me. And if we're not able to come to that terms of communication, and you can only understand my mentality from a podcast and not actually sitting next to me, being present in those moments, then there is a red flag there. Or maybe we're just constant waves clashing. That we're not. And that's the thing. When you're authentic, you live in these moments, these spontaneous moments, and they just happen. They just combust, and you enjoy them, and then you you like tuck them away as just a moment that was precious. But then there are people who literally don't live in those moments, don't bask in those moments, don't breathe in them, and then they just want the image. You know what I mean? Like they don't want the knowledge behind those statements. They don't want the comfort, the touch, the tenacity. They just want those statements. They just want the black and white scenario. So fully they're not enjoying you. They're enjoying the idea of you. And I hate that. Like, I am literally giving you me. Nappy me. And that's what I put for my New Year's resolution. I was like, New Year, same naps. Like, I'm changing. I am evolving. I'm becoming something that I am, destined to be. But in the same stance, I am still that overthinking, perfectionist, sensitive, super strong, confident, shy, wild but cautious individual. Like there's so many layers, and I feel like I've constantly said this in all my episodes. So if you're just new to this, you're gonna hear it often. Balance is key. In everything, in every emotion, balance is key. And that's why, like, this is gonna ruffle some feathers, but I have a song, right? And it's Frank Ocean, and it's Pink Matter. Don't that song go so hard? Like, it's just but one of the statements in it that like always like rung a bell in me, other than Andre 3000, like verse was just crazy. Is pleasure over matter. And then when you hear the word pleasure, you always think of like sensual, right? Like it always has to go too far left. Sensual lust, or like sexuality, all that, right? Goes into the definition of pleasure. But what I look at it as, and what I think of it, maybe I think too much in depth of it, is I think of pleasure as an abundance of joy. Anything. Whether it's your favorite food and it just makes you feel so happy, or your favorite song, or your artistry, something that just captivates you and puts you into this mental state of just an ecstasy moment. And I feel like that should be over the material things, the matter that just holds up space. Those emotions are like prevalent, they're important. And so I always try to put my stacks on favor of things. So pleasure over matter, peace over everything is what I'm like constantly pushing for, because I want peace over everything, because I know everything is not going to always be, happy all the time. I know that I have to go through some very difficult and hard times and trials and tribulations to learn and grow. I know that those moments have to they have to happen to develop me as a human being, and they have to happen to balance my joy. You see what I'm saying? Like they have to happen to make me me. Because without those mistakes and those traumas and those trials and tribulations, I cannot be the person that you see. I just can't. And they have to exist. So with that existing spot and place, like I really I pushed for the main thing of peace. At the end of the day, if I go with a dispute with somebody and I'm hurting and whatever, and we're separated, I want to find a peace in that situation. Like, maybe we were not good to be together. Maybe, they deserve better than me, or I deserve better than them. Or maybe we can walk away from this learning from our mistakes and build forth. I always try to find the peace in everything, because I think that pronounces a humility within me, and I think it gives me vulnerability too, because it makes me understand as a woman. I don't know about anybody else, but as a woman, me, my strengths and weaknesses, my failures and accomplishments, it helps me find the balance in everything, and it helps me overcome it. So if I don't find the peace in something, it like nitpicks at me. Oh my gosh, and it'll just cause and churn so badly, because I'm just like, man, like there's no peace that was in this. So maybe it is time for me to walk away and let it go. You know what I mean? Like that gives me an evaluation of the the cancer in my life, or the horrid or scary or like gut wrenching moments for me. And everybody is different. Maybe sometimes people like to find the ugly in it, and you know what? If that's you, baby. But for me to get over something, the first step is acknowledgement, and the second one is understanding. But the third one is finding peace in it, because I don't want to carry those loads with me everywhere I go. I feel like sometimes we carry unnecessary baggage, and I don't want to carry. I want to find peace and surrender to that peace and move forward. So I put that over everything. Even as a mother, I find knowing, because I can't protect my daughter from everything. I can't. She has her own story. She has her own independence, her own confidence, her own opinion. She is a human being within herself, even though she's young. I'm just an extra in her story. So for me as a mother, it's hard to watch my child stumble. It's hard to watch my child struggle. It's hard to literally watch my child grow, because I want to hold her hand and I want to protect her as much as I can. So the aspect, and my homegirl had told me, spit that knowledge to me, the aspect that kind of guides me in a humbling stance, but also as a growing parent, is that I find peace in knowing that I created this individual with so much personality, so much spunk, that I'm mentally preparing her to be ready for whatever gets thrown her way. That is my mission in life. I always want her to, whatever is thrown her way, whatever her story has been written for her, she's mentally ready for it. She's mentally, like, can overcome it. And I think that's important. So that's the piece that I find, is that I'm slowly teaching my daughter how to recover. You know what I mean? And even with myself, it's going to be a piece over everything, a mantra to myself. And that makes me authentic, because I feel like I don't see that anywhere else. I don't see that balance streaming along in people's lives. But then it's not my direction to correct everyone's life. You know what I mean? Like everybody has to find their own niche, their own balance. But for me, that's what I'm trying to strive for. And so there will be times that I'm gonna have to work extra hard to get what I need. There's gonna be times where I'm going to cry because there's too much pain. There's going to be times where I'm gonna get overwhelmed. But then knowing that I'm going to have peace towards the end, that no matter what I'm going through, there shall be peace, that makes it worth it. Or that also creates this feeling in my stomach, knowing that I'm just being me, that I'm being, no one else is, illustrating me anymore. No one's manipulating me to do what they want me to do. I'm making decisions on my own. And so that's impactful to me, because that means that I have a voice, that I have an opinion, that I have so much importance. Whether no one feels that I'm important, I know I'm important. I know that I'm a queen. I know that I'm royalty. I know what I possess and what I bring to the table. So the fact that I know and I'm aware makes me not a stranger to society or a stranger to myself. And that's big, to like capitalize on who I am. That's important. So it's okay to be weird or strange or like certain things, or you know, be in your own zone or your own creative mind. Like, I feel like that's important, because that's your peace. That's your stance on life. That's your center that we gravitate towards. So continue to be authentically you and authentically real. In conclusion, I just want to tell you guys to promise to cherish the day. And it's your girl Shelbi Henny signing off. Have a good one, y'all.